Friday and happy St. Patrick's Day. Dan over here is not wearing any green, so if you know Dan and you're close by, you can pinch him. I'm not anywhere near him, but I am wearing green. So yeah. Anyway, today we're gonna talk a little bit about just some conversations we've been having around how much liquidity should people have, how much money should they have available and accessible to them, and also where do they store it? Where are some good places to store it? I know the title says during a recession, but really at any time. A couple of conversations we've had with people is, they put money into these accounts, and because of the market being where it's at, the accounts are down, and some would say, yeah, it's a good time to buy while the prices are low, but some people don't want to keep seeing that money go into those accounts, get locked up, and then continue to go down. So yeah, we're just going to talk about a few things. Dan, maybe you can just start with kind of the rules of the model. How much liquidity, liquid accessible money should people have available to them?
Yeah, I mean, we teach people 4 rules to build your perfect model. We always start with protection, and you should be asking yourself, if something could go wrong, do you have a plan, right? If your house burns down, you probably have home insurance. You'd love a check to replace your house, right? Mm-hmm. Same concept with your income, your life, right? Your estate, your taxes, right? Like your tax planning, right? A lot of people just lose money on taxes every year and never question it. So protection is first, but second is liquidity. So what is liquid money? For us, it's safe and accessible money. So some people go, well, I got this brokerage account invested in mutual funds and I can get it if I need it. Yeah, but if it's down 35% for the year, you're probably not going to use it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not super liquid. So liquid money, there's 3 places we teach people to store it: cash in the bank, open and accessible lines of credit on your real estate. So if you have a $150,000 mortgage and the house is worth $300,000, there's equity above the mortgage. And if you call your bank and say, hey, can I open a line of credit? They might give you a line of credit. And it doesn't cost much to open typically, and it doesn't cost anything to have it open once you pay for the setup, And if you use the money, you got to pay it back with interest, just like any debt. But if you don't use the money, it's just open there. It's open and approved. And we count that towards your liquid position, because you can, once they approve you, you can get it if you need it. And the third place is inside of life insurance. Yeah. And if you're going, well, a lot of people don't know much about life insurance. I didn't know much about it when I first, 5, 6, 7 years ago when I started asking more about it. But life insurance, most people think, well, I got to die to get it. That's one component of life insurance. That's called the death benefit. But there's a type of life insurance where actually the premiums go into a cash bucket, whether it's a type of permanent insurance. And if it's structured properly with a good company, not all are created equal and some are downright bad. But if it's structured properly with a good company, all of the premiums goes into cash within 3 or 4 years, right? Mm-hmm. And that is liquid money. It's guaranteed, it's tax-free, and you can use it anytime you want. So liquid, the goal is always to have 50% of your household income. Right. So if you guys are making $200,000 between your, both incomes coming in or whoever's working, the perfect world, we'd have $100,000 of liquid money. I don't recommend having $100,000 sitting in the bank account making zero. Right. It's not creditor protected. It's not going to grow. You're going to lose over time due to inflation. So money in the bank plus your equity that's available in your real estate, plus your cash value inside of your insurance. Add those three up. And the goal is always to have a minimum of 50%. A lot of my clients that have lived through a recession, right? They have a minimum of 50%. They have a lot more, right? So as the market depresses and asset prices come back down, you have to have liquid money so you can buy those assets and seize the opportunity. That makes sense? So I know we're throwing a lot at you, but those are the three places to store money. If you're asking, well, Dan, is this something I can do? If you have equity in real estate and you've been told your whole life, pay off all your real estate because you're going to get wealthy, that's not what the wealthy people do. The wealthy people use leverage. So your ability to open up lines of credit is important. So I would check that. And none of this is financial advice, by the way. We're just sharing ideas. If you want to jump on a call with us, we'd be happy to take a look and see if it's smart for you. And then, there's so much misinformation on life insurance. My wealthiest clients, they understand that it's not a bad thing if it's structured properly. They put money into it. They can use the money. They're protecting their income. If they were to pass away, there's a death benefit. Like, it's not that complex. It gets a bad rap because people sell them improperly. And the way we design them is there really should be funded with cash flow that we help you free up. So it's no out-of-pocket cost to add, insurance if done properly. So anyway,
Yeah.
I just talked for 5 minutes straight. Hit us up if you have questions, right?
Yeah. No, and I would add, because it's easy to just, line of credits on your real estate they're easy to open up, fairly easy, especially if you have a job. The advantage of opening it and having it open and available is, especially while you're working, is most of the time they'll have them open for 10 years. So they'll get it open, and let's say something bad happens, you lose your job, or you can't work for a while. Well, having that open and available there is better than, say, you lose your job and then you go to the bank and ask them to open a line of credit. They're not going to do it because you don't have a job. And that's kind of part of the misinformation that's out there, is that when you pay off your real estate, that you have more control. In reality, the bank has control over the equity in your home. If you pay off your house, the only way you can get money from it is if you sell it. And the other way is if you take out a loan against it. Well, the bank controls the loan. So, if you pay off your house really fast, are you really controlling every dollar? So just having that open and accessible is big. And if you don't want to incur an extra payment, like, you don't have to access it. It's just there, it's ready. And to Dan's point about the life insurance, like when money goes into the life insurance and it starts to build up the cash value, people a lot of times, you hear them say, well, why would I borrow my own money that I put into this life insurance policy? And the truth is, you don't borrow your money. You leave the money in the policy. You borrow from the life insurance company. And then your money stays in the contract and keeps growing, guaranteed, tax-free. You use the life insurance company's money to go and do what you need to do. That's why a lot of investors really like it, because you can literally have $1 do multiple jobs. It's buying you a death benefit, permanent death benefit. It's growing tax-free. And then if you use it to go and invest in, say you're really good at flipping real estate or buying a business, or just an opportunity comes available, now that same dollar is doing multiple things for you. So that's what we call the velocity of money. That's what the banks do. That's how the wealthy people use their money to add more wealth. So yeah, that's kind of what we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, I'll just throw in too, like if you've been listening, or you might get the feel that like the cards are stacked against you. So if you're listening to this and I just told you 3 places to store your money, and you're going, yeah, I'm not going to use debt on my house, and permanent insurance or whole life is bad for life insurance, you might want to open your mind up a little bit, because think about it, right? You're trapping yourself out of your assets. You're not positioning your dollars to get leverage and to have the velocity of money like Ben's talking, and you feel safe by having money sitting in a bank. I don't know if you heard what's going on with banks, right? Like, not to be the doom and gloom guy, but you don't want a lot of money in your banks, right? Use the banks to transact and pay your bills and everything. I mean, I have bank accounts, but don't store all your cash for safety in the bank. It's not that safe, right? It's not growing. You're losing money, because if you could make 5% on an investment, 10%, 20%, and it's sitting in the bank, there's a loss opportunity cost. So anyway, just I encourage you to open your mind. Don't listen to this one thing and say, okay, I'm going to go do all these things blindly. Like, ask questions, learn, right? Look around your environment, find the people who are wealthier and do smart things with their money, and ask them. They're probably not going to tell you to be afraid of debt, don't do life insurance, and save all your money in the bank. I'm sorry, but that's a near impossible way to build wealth. So anyway, I'll jump off that soapbox for now.
Right on. Well, appreciate it, Dan. We'll talk to everyone next week and hope this was helpful. And as always, you can reach out to us with questions at any time. And if you want to set up a meeting, just reach out and we'll be happy to set something up. All right, everyone, have a great St. Patrick's Day.